Alright, I'll be taking a look at this replay, from one of my students, actually. Um, we've been in discussion about learning how to control the pace a little bit better in the match. Um, I haven't seen this replay at all, so I'm kind of going in this blind, but I'm gonna be looking at what the Chun-Li is doing and seeing what they can do to improve themselves, what they did good, what they did bad. So first thing, as a staple, turn on the data so we can see frame advantage, all that kind of stuff. So, all right, let's begin. Perfect. This is right here, right off the bat. Good reaction. Good, good spot. This is a good spot to hit this crouching middle punch. Now, we discussed this last session where crouching middle punch is such a weird tool where, yes, you can get hits, but it doesn't really get you anything. And that's because, like, even the distance, too, is kind of hard to, you know, what are you going to do here from +2? Pretty much nothing. Like, in the back of your mind, you have to think about the DP. Like, it doesn't mean you always have to respect it, but you don't know what Kens can do. You don't know how volatile characters can be. So any kind of gap, there could be a DP. So anytime there's unnecessary gap, like there's nothing you can get, you shouldn't give it to them. Just in case they do DP, just so you can punish it. So you always gotta be extra careful on that situation. See, look at that right there. So like, this is a perfect example right here of what I mean when taking care of gaps. We'll discuss this real quick, okay? So, let me explain this really quick. For those of you guys that are going to probably watch this later uh, um, down the line. When there's a gap that, if I was a Ken, right, I know Chun-Li can't get anything next. She can't. Because even though she's plus, she doesn't have anything that reaches that far that's fast enough. Right? Fierce Punch is good, but is it going to beat out some normals? Is it going to beat out jump? You typically want to see what's going to happen next. Like, the job of the crouching middle punch was done. You beat the fireball, you put some damage in, that's it. It's over. So, this part right here, the dash up, this is all learning. This is nothing to be like ashamed of. This is nothing to be like, oh, like I made the biggest mistake. The only mistake that was done was that you didn't react to it, or he didn't react to it, right? I'm gonna be mixing you and he a lot, but the reaction was the only mistake here. But even I wouldn't have anticipated this. That's why you have to react, right? Because you want to make sure that you punish it. But that's hard. You know, in this game, online, it's hard to react to these things naturally. So you kind of have to be given this early on so that you know what he's capable of, so that you're more aware of it down the line. Crush cutter, boom, boom. Like, just like I said, okay? Just like I said. A lot of times, Kens will be volatile. And maybe he meant to do Fireball, and that's actually probably what he meant to do. But you have to be worried, and you have to be expecting these kind of things to get the maximum punish. So right here was a little bit of a mistake, and this is something I kind of want to fix for my student. So this guy's crouching. And most of the time, players are going to be crouching. This is the thing that I'm trying to teach. Um, stand roundhouse. He threw the stand roundhouse is only good if your opponent is walking, not if they're in range to do footsies now. If they're already in range to do footsies, there's no reason to do stand heavy kick because they're usually going to be crouching. They're usually going to get under this. And unfortunately, this is the result of it. That's what happens. Is that crouching metal kick stuffed the stand heavy kick because it went under, right? Low profile. So change this into fierce punch, you deliver a hit. Because you need something more direct. Stand heavy kick again is only if they're outside the range and they gotta walk in. Then you can stand heavy kick. Okay. More stand heavy punch. Walk up throw. So this guy's already thrown twice. And I'm keeping a check on that. That's in my memory bank. That's me thinking, okay, this guy is pushing it when it comes to the gap, right? He wants to throw you. So being active with the jab is going to be important. Reacting is going to be important. Spacing is going to be important. Good, good. Oh, missed on the punish. Resistant again. Good. So no. So this is something that we've underlined a little bit last session right here. Okay. This is this is this is not a big mistake, and I've explained to him that it's not a big mistake. It's not something that it's gonna make or break most of the time, but it is important to understand. You want to conserve meter. You want to make sure that you are building meter for super. If you don't need to use the meter, don't use it, right? What he could have done here is he could have done crouching middle kick because he's in range right here. He's in range. This is the picture that you want to keep in your mind. Crouching middle kick, sure, and you have all the time in the world because you activate V trigger. You could the moment you activate V trigger, you can hold down, and then you have time. You can hold down until you hit crouching middle kick, and then you can do spinning root. So you have time to charge. You just gotta remember to do it, right? You just gotta remember to go for that, so that you're able to land combos without squandering meter that you can use for later, like uppercuts or super if you get it. Good. Fierce punch. Okay, good. Good answer. Good answer. That's good. But yeah, fierce punch, right? When I see him, yeah, because a lot of people tell me fierce punch, and now that I look at him, I'm just like, yeah, fierce punch, right? So let's talk about this move. Charge it. He is +3, so nothing you can do. He tried backdashing. It's okay. It's not a bad idea because he has been throwing a lot. Okay, this guy's starting to throw more heavy kicks, so gotta space him out. It's hard, but you gotta space him out. Like that EX legs? I do like that too, because you switch over sides, and now his back is to the corner, right? That's probably the primary use of that move. It's not really for combos or hits. It's just to get yourself out of there. Okay, big damage. Okay. Oh, missed the meaty bit. It's okay. Yep. Stack him kick. Ooh, let's throw. Okay. Okay, good. Um, Yeah, I mean, my main concerns are just the stand heavy kicks that are out of place. Because the reason we do stand heavy kick, or I do stand heavy kick, is for crush counter. It's for range, but outside the range. It's just a spacing issue. That's it. If he switched a lot of those stand heavy kicks with Fierce Punch, he'd have more of a time, like a more of a more dominant time against his Ken. I mean, his Ken was okay, but never really got to activate V trigger. Never got to really, do anything, which is good for Chun Li. I think the other thing that was really like troubling him in this set was the stand heavy kick from Ken. Um, you know, one thing, neutral's hard. Like it's hard to engage because there are times where you gotta put pressure, and there's times where you gotta give up some space because you gotta respect, right? You gotta respect his stand heavy kick. You don't want to get killed. So a lot of times you have to respect the stand heavy kick and try to just quick punish it, which is hard, but it's better now than it used to be. Um, but you gotta let them do it. So sometimes you gotta, back up a little bit to make it whiff instead of being in range. Because if Chun's in range to do footsies, Ken's in range to hit stand heavy kick. So it's kind of like, oh, who hits who first, right? And unfortunately, that if Ken hits, it's gonna be a lot of damage. So overall, really good. I thought it was fun. I thought he played this very well. Um, but hopefully, we'll see some more improvements. All right, that'll conclude this replay analysis. If you guys want your replays analyzed or training, you can find me at metafy.gg slash at brolylegs. And I'm available all week. All right, peace.